Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and in this video I am going to be talking to you about living a life with no regrets, which I think is probably the number one thing that most of us aspire to. We want to know that we didn't waste our time while we were here, so let's talk about how we can ensure that that doesn't happen. I don't know about you, but I want to be one smug bitch of an old lady. Kick-ass grandma coming at ya in about 30 odd years. Let's go. Recently, I read a book that is teaching me exactly how to live a life without regrets, and that is Don Miguel Ruiz's The 4 Agreements. I don't have a copy to show you because it was a library book. Support your local library, folks. In it, Ruiz outlines 4 fundamental agreements or standards that we should all hold ourselves to if we want to lead better, more meaningful lives. Now, I can certainly review the rest of the book if that is something that you want, but for this video, I am going to stick to the 4th agreement because that is the one that has made the most difference to me. Now, I will say up front that the tone of the book is very spiritual and in parts strongly religious, so as an atheist, I had to overlook a lot of that. And the book is supposedly based on ancient wisdom that has long been forgotten by modern man, but is now being spread by shaman. Yeah, I don't really buy into that either. So I had to treat it kind of like a ladybird book, where I looked past all of the talking teddies and the magical fairies and just learned the valuable life lesson it had to teach. What are those stories called? Fables. A fable. I had to suspend some of my disbelief and just accept that the author still has an important and inspirational message to spread. Basically, I stuck with it because I'm stubborn, but it paid off in spades. My husband, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've all heard the stories about people on their deathbeds and all of the regrets that they have. Not spending enough time with their family, working too hard, not chasing their dreams, going after their goals, all of that sort of stuff. So how do we ensure that when the time comes, we can say with confidence that we gave it our all? The answer comes in the form of Ruiz's 4th agreement: always do your best. Now, I'm sure it's a phrase that you have heard a lot in your life, just do your best or try your best. The problem lies in the fact that there can be an implicit understanding that you must currently not be trying very hard at all, or that, you're capable of so much more, but you're just not achieving it. Or worse, you're not really up to the job at all, so, just give it a bash and hope that you can make some half-arsed attempt at it. Do your best. In short, it can feel patronizing as fuck. Maybe it's just me, but anytime I have heard the phrase, I have immediately imagined that the task at hand must be way beyond my current capabilities. It's probably where my perfectionist tendencies come from. That idea that no matter how much I try, I will never be able to do justice to the job at hand. And so it gets to the point where I just don't bother my arse at all. Or I start, but no matter how hard I try, I will just never be good enough. There will always be more to do. Life can be so cruel. And then this book, which you'll just have to pretend that I'm holding up here, this book changed everything for me. Oh, magical book. The author realizes that your best is not some unattainable objective standard that requires some Herculean effort. Instead, it's something that can actually fade and fluctuate from day to day or hour to hour or even minute to minute. Your best will depend on many different factors in that moment. Some days you'll be able to scrub the kitchen from top to bottom, and then other days you'll barely be able to clear the counters. Now and again, you'll be able to knock everything off of your to-do list, and then other times you'll just have to scrap it and start again. One week you will be high on life, supremely motivated and dedicated and energized and ready to take on whatever the world throws at you. And then the next week, you will just run for cover to your comfortable duvet. 1 minute you're churning out your best work, and the next you're essentially asleep with your eyes open. 1 week you're breaking all of your productivity records, and the next you're barely able to scratch your own arse. But all of those efforts will be your best, even if the output varies. For me, I always thought that my best involved all of those first situations. I never stopped to consider what my best would be if I was tired or cranky, which is most of the time, or ill, at the mercy of a toddler's tantrums, or just plain not feeling it. I thought my best was some immovable object. Basically, I never put my best into context. Now I ask myself at regular intervals throughout the day, am I doing my best? Sometimes the answer is no, and it is the kick up the arse that I need to continue. Like the other day when I was folding clothes and I wanted to give up halfway through the job and just leave them all on the kitchen counters. But often the answer is yes, like the other day when I was writing and before I had finished the blog post, I wanted to stop. So I asked myself, have I done my best? And the answer was actually, yeah, for now, you have. Normally I would beat myself up over not just plowing through and getting the job done. But in that moment, asking myself the question made me realize that I genuinely needed the break. There was no need for me to push through. Doing your best does not mean grinning and bearing the pain until everything is completed to perfection. It's not about getting the job done no matter what. Instead, it's more a question of whether you've done enough for now, given your mood, resources, and your energy levels. Don't believe your best to be the most you could possibly achieve when your energy and your motivation and your happiness levels are at their highest. Sure, if that was the case, you'd never get anything done. But the fourth agreement is just that gentle nudge that I need when I feel like I'm sneaking ever closer to the couch. But also a lesson that I don't have to feel bad if I'm not kicking ass all day, every day. If I am satisfied that I am doing my best under the circumstances, then I can have no regrets with how the day panned out. We won't all become millionaires or live on private islands or whatever, but if, when all is said and done, you can look back and be genuinely satisfied that you put in a solid effort and you did the best with what you had, nobody can judge you or take that away from you, not even yourself. Doing your best means no regrets, and your best is flexible. And that's a wrap. To make sure that I don't regret a life of sitting down making YouTube videos in my kitchen, please share some love and give the video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel by hitting that lovely red button just down there, because I upload new videos every single Thursday on how you can lead a simpler, happier life. I'll be back next week with an update report on my KonMari progress. I'll be tackling the kitchen this weekend. Still taking bets on how many bottles of Tabasco sauce will be left, so drop your guesses in the comments. Until then, gur míle maith agaibh agus feici mé sibh sigalua. Slán!